With the hero of this story, we will delve into the world of virtual reality and RPG, where life is at stake. Enjoy the viewing. The bandit looked at the guy with fear. Rand didn't look ferocious or insane, but the knife in his hand gleamed dangerously. In an instant, the hero swiftly lowered the knife between the scavenger's fingers. The sound of metal scraping against the ground echoed. The scavenger realized that the situation was more serious than he thought. Rand wanted to know everything about the bandits' hideout. The stranger decided not to hide anything. He already knew very little about the scavenger boss. Only that he was in the hideout. The hideout itself was located in the warehouses of the shopping center. The gang's strength consisted of 20 people. The hero had already heard similar information from Colin. He decided to move on to active actions to make the guy talk. The bandit screamed in pain. He confessed that there were 30 people in the gang, not 20. A few days ago, the boss had recruited other bandits into their group. Upon hearing this, Rand realized that he was not mistaken. The bandit was indeed lying. The hero decided that it was time not to scare but to press the scavenger harder. The man was frightened, and he really said everything he knew. The boss had his channels of interaction with other groups in this city. The blade of the knife gleamed at the bandit's throat. Rand demanded him to tell everything he knew about the capabilities of the scavenger boss. The bandit confessed that their leader collaborated with rebels. He catches women on the streets of the city and delivers them to one of the rebel commanders. This outraged the guy. Rand understood that, in exchange, the scavengers received weapons and supplies. The hero wanted the bandit to tell more about what was happening in their gang, in detail and honestly. But he overdid it with his threats. Rand sadly wiped his knife. The guy hoped he could learn the skill of intimidation or negotiation, but nothing happened. Perhaps there are restrictions on acquiring certain skills at the novice level. Moreover, the bandit had no valuable information. As Colin said, the scavenger was the boss of an NPC bandit group. If he could eliminate him, Rand could get good loot. After all, the more enemies the hero destroys, the more items he can sell. Rand decided to go to the scavenger's hideout. Colin was shocked by her friend's decision. The girl tried to dissuade the guy from this idea. The risks were too great, anyone who wasn't a member of their gang died. The hero had several weighty arguments in favor of his decision to visit the scavenger's hideout. He believed that the bandits wouldn't stop at a single unsuccessful hunt and would send more people to search for him and Colin. And the next squad might be more agile and better armed. Despite the fact that the bandit boss was very dangerous, and the hideout was guarded, they still had no information about the success of the current raid. Attacking their base right now was the best solution. Surprise might help win this encounter. Colin understood that Rand wouldn't listen to her advice, so she promised to wait for him in their shelter. The guy, in turn, headed to the shopping center where the bandits were stationed. Two scavengers stood not far from the entrance. The night was calm, and the red-haired guy suggested his friend take a break for a smoke. His friend feared the boss's anger. Then the red-haired guy pointed upstairs to the building. There was a sniper sitting. In fact, these guys stood below for intimidation. The sniper had a much broader view. He could detect and deal with an unwanted guest long before he got closer to the shopping center. The bandits left their post. They didn't suspect that there was no sniper on top of the building. Rand silently approached and incapacitated the firearm scavenger. The hero liked the weapon he obtained by defeating the sniper. But it was cumbersome and not suitable for the guy's main task for the evening. Moreover, Rand couldn't carry it with him right now. It would raise suspicion if he met any of the bandits. The hero silently jumped down to deal with the guards who went out for a smoke. Despite all his agility, the man sighed when Rand slashed him with his knife. This was enough to attract the attention of the red-haired guy. The man turned around just as the hero jumped forward. The red-haired one noticed Rand but couldn't make a sound. The guy covered his mouth with his hand not to attract the attention of other guards. Having neutralized the opponents, the hero marveled at how well his skills in stealth and cold weapon, dagger, combined. Rand moved cautiously and was surprised that despite the shortage of everything in the city, the scavengers actively used electricity. This meant they were comfortably settled here and certainly weren't afraid of anyone. Suddenly, a man came out of the building door. He was displeased that he was chosen as the perimeter guard again. Rand hid near the wall but was very close to the bandit. The man immediately noticed the guy. Of course, he didn't expect to see a stranger here. So he immediately pointed the weapon in the hero's direction. Rand knew that no one would shoot right away. Most likely, the man would want to talk. Rand raised his hands in a peaceful gesture. He decided to pretend to be a newcomer to the scavengers' ranks. To make the bandit believe him, Rand told him that he was recruited by Delay and already approved by Captain Hook. The man heard familiar names but still looked wary. Usually, recruits were accompanied, and in the case of a personal invitation, Delay should have personally brought the guy to the hideout. Rand shared common knowledge among all scavengers about Captain Hook's task, adding that the guys had already started celebrating a successful hunt. The man was surprised. This argument convinced him that the guy was telling the truth. After all, only gang members knew about the squad's mission. The bandit told the newcomer to follow him. He nonchalantly turned away from the guy, immersed in thoughts about how unfairly his comrades treated him. Rand attacked suddenly. He already knew that the first thing to do was to eliminate any possibility of making noise, so he covered the man's mouth with his hand before eliminating him. Afterward, the hero dragged the bandit's body inside the building not to attract the attention of those who might be outside. The guy went to explore the corridor. Loud music and male voices could be heard behind one of the doors. Rand identified the room as the rest area for the bandits. There were several more doors in the corridor. The hero hoped that one of them would lead to the boss's room. He understood that now, with several scavenger bodies behind him, he should act quickly. At any moment, the bandits could discover the absence of guards or patrols. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave comments to help the new video come out as soon as possible. Have a great day.